Welcome to Retro Skill Modelling. This is part 2 of the DeAgostini Millennium Falcon build, issue 1 to 3. In part 2 I'm going to be starting the build, working mainly on the cockpit. So let's jump into this and see how I get on. So I'm quickly just having a look at the booklet here. I covered this in the introduction issue 1, but this issue 1 is mainly making up the gun, one of the guns, and the start of the cockpit. So as you can see here, it's not a decal as such for the back bulkhead. It's more like a sticker really. Now the adhesive isn't fantastic on this, but it does give you an opportunity then to move it around until you get it in place. Onto the laser cannons, and the barrels just slot into the location points here. Now the old thing says you don't need any cement or glue for this, but you actually do. In fact, as I've been working on it, it actually starts calling for glue and cement. So the instructions are all over the place, to say the least. But the build itself does look fairly straightforward once you get your head around how the instructions are laid out. So to make up these laser cannons, you have first of all had to make up the housing for them, which I'm doing here. This is a little bit tricky. They are metal parts as well, so they do slide around a bit. So it took me a little while just to get these together. But once I got the housing made up, half the laser cannon gets fitted in the bottom. There's a lot of location points for the mount to swivel on, so it's important to line them up. And then the top part goes on. As I said, I had trouble with this because I'm having to hold it and get it in place before I put it together. Now it's held together with some screws. Now here's the thing about this as well. It says it supplies a screwdriver for the kit, but of course that's not until issue 3, I think it was. So I didn't understand the reasoning with that whatsoever. But anyway, that's just a little gripe. The screws lined up quite well. There was no cross threading, which sometimes can happen with these kits, because the quality can be a little bit poor when it comes to the fastenings on this sort of things. That takes care of issue 1, so on to issue 2. We have more parts here, as you can see. I'll just quickly go through the booklet once more. I'm not going to go into detail with what's inside the booklet, or all the stories and information and so forth. This is just a rough thing to show you what it looks like and what parts it comes with each issue before I start the build. To the first part of painting, and I'm using Tamiya's X32 Titanium Silver, and this is for the hologram table that's a game that's played on aboard the Millennium Falcon. And I'm using Tamiya's XF55 Dark Deck Tan for the gun colour as well. Now I will be weathering this later on, but this is just the base coat I'm playing on. As you can see, I've already primed it. Back to the hologram table, and as you can see I'm using various colours, and the first one is X27 Clear Red, then moving on to X25 Clear Green, then X24 Clear Yellow, and finally X23 Clear Blue. Now these are just all for the little switches and dials that I'm using on the table. I've put a band of yellow just where the control buttons will be. Now this is not 100% screen accurate. My models never are. I just do what feels right and what I enjoy doing. So don't necessarily follow this particular paint as a guide. There's plenty of reference photos out there for you to have a look at. Next is to start work on the main superstructure of the Falcon. This is all done by metalwork. This particular parts. They are all made up with little brackets connecting each unit up. The screws and things like that are nice, as I've said before. The drop-in belt, it can be very fiddly because, like the laser cannon, it's difficult to get the parts put into position before screwing it. So it was a little bit fiddly for me to do, but I got there in the end. It was just a little bit time consuming. Now each section builds up in, I would imagine, into the complete circular form of the Falcon, but as I go along I'll be carrying on adding to this. I'm just putting in the last screws for this issue. As you can see, the superstructure is starting to take shape. And next is the little sticker that goes on the top of the hollow game, the little checkerboard there. It just pops on, no issues whatsoever. And for the very last part for this issue is the transfer of sticker of the instrument panel on here. Now there's all little holes in this, you have to line them up. Later on there'll be parts getting placed into this. The control rods, or whatever you call them, will be going in. On to issue 3, and the parts here are mostly for the cockpit. So I'll just quickly flip through this magazine once more. As you can see, there's quite a bit of detail in these magazines. I haven't read them. I'll probably won't read them until I've finished the build, but they're good for reference photos. So this is the parts, and there's not a lot to say. It's quite self-explanatory. There's not a lot of building going on, to tell you the truth. It's meant to be, this kit's meant to be designed for anyone to put together, although it can be a bit tricky. So I'm just putting in the transfer for the back of the door that's going to sit behind the cockpit. And I'll just dry fit it here so that you can see where it goes. Next to go on are the rear seats. Now they just fit in these little location areas. In the end, I did take them out and put a little bit of super glue just to hold them down, because they kept on falling off and moving. And then the front seats go in, same as the back seats, a little bit of glue just to hold them in position. Next to go on are the little control sticks for the cockpit, and they're quite easy to put in. They all have their own little location points, obviously, and there was no problem fitting them in. So this is where I'll end part 2. In the next part I'll carry on with the cockpit, and much more the same as what I've been doing at the moment. So if you haven't done so already, why don't you check out the channel for my other builds. Subscribe to the channel and hit that notification button, and you'll be kept up to date with this build and of course any future builds. Hit that like button and of course leave a comment, and don't forget to share the video. But for now, thank you all very much for watching. Bye bye.